What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. I'm Sean.
And I'm Catherine. And as always, we will be breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career.
Absolutely. That's what we do every week, and we're going to be getting back to it again this week. And
You think?
I think so. I think it's a good idea. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Because that's kind of our thing.
Kind of, yeah.
So it would be weird to switch it up now. Anyway, we missed a week.
We did miss a week.
We did not upload a podcast last week. And Catherine, why don't you tell us what's been going on and where things stand now?
Yeah. So last week, I had a bit of a family emergency. So I missed a couple days of work. And one of those days was when we record the podcast. So unfortunately, we had to miss the podcast and the upload. So my dad had a little bit of a, they call it a mini stroke.
Yeah.
Which is scary. It was very scary, but I feel like mini stroke makes it sound like
it's
know.
not? Like, do you think
Yeah,
it's like trivializes it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so he had to have a surgery, and he is all good now. Everything went really well, and it was very scary for like a couple days, but he's all better, so it all went well.
Thank God for modern medicine.
Seriously, it's pretty amazing.
It's seriously insane that they can just like go inside your body, you know, do a quick little tune-up, and everything's good. So we are super grateful for that, and it, you know, I think it kind of reminds you of the things that are important. You know what I mean? When something like that happens, you know, obviously you were probably like so freaked out, like, you know, everything is like so chaotic and crazy when a family emergency like that happens. But you know, it just makes you like think like, you know, my parents are also getting older, and you know, it makes you think like you should really prioritize spending time with them while they're around. And so
Absolutely, yeah. It is like when all that was happening, I was getting like very introspective.
Yeah, I think
the word is.
yeah,
introspective.
I think so.
About like family and getting older, and it's hard when like I feel like we're at the age where eventually we're gonna have to start taking care of our parents.
Yeah.
And like I watched my parents take care of their parents. I don't know if you had the same situation.
Yeah.
And so now it's like it's all coming together for us. So, you know, it's a lot, but ultimately everything is good. What happened to him was he was just having a normal day, and then all of a sudden it looked like the bottom 25% of his eye, like somebody drew a curtain over his eye, like he couldn't see out a part of his eye. And he thought he was fine. He didn't think anything of it. And my mom was like, "You have to go to the doctor right now." And he went, and then the doctor was like, "Oh, he might get, you know, we don't know what it is. You know, it might be okay, blah, blah, blah." He went to the emergency room. They were like, "No, you have to get admitted." And then it snowballed into a surgery thing. So just be aware of something minor happening to yourself. Just go to the doctor. Just take care of it.
Get it checked out.
You might think it's nothing, and it might be something. So definitely go to the doctor, because that was very scary.
But ultimately, it's like such a good thing that it sort of happened how it happened, because it like was significant enough for him to, and thank God for your mom, like being like, you got to go to the doctor. Cause,
for sure.
I mean, I don't know your dad like super well, but I feel like I know him enough that he's the type of person like, I'm fine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm totally fine.
There's no way he would have went to the doctor if my mom didn't tell him to. So. And
then it opened up a bigger thing, and you know, and then they were able to like, you know, get it all cleaned up and you know, clean out the arteries or whatever. Yeah. Which is pretty crazy that they can do that. And so
they took care of it.
So that's why we missed last week.
I do want to one more thing.
Yeah.
You know how everyone always jokes like, "Oh, your phones are listening to you."
Yeah.
Whatever. So the procedure that my dad had done was that his carotid artery was full of plaque, and they had to clean it out. And he kept saying that he was getting roto-rootered. He was like, "Yeah, the doctor's just gonna roto-rooter my neck and whatever, I'll be all good." And I've never ever Googled roto-rooter on my phone or plumbing or anything on my phone, and now I'm getting roto-rooter ads through Instagram. Isn't that funny?
That is funny, scary, and also waste of money on their part, because that's not what you were talking about. No need for that.
I just thought that was really funny. I was like, roto-rooter of all things.
That's pretty crazy.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
So, But anyway,
All right.
everything's fine.
Everything's fine. We're back to biz. Glad everything went well. And now, what are we going to talk about this week?
You had this saying in mind.
I had quite a few things that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And that would be a faster horse.
Sean, what does that mean?
That means a horse that goes slightly more speed than another horse. No,
Okay.
what it means is, and it comes from a book that I'm currently reading. I'm on my second book of the year so far.
Okay.
So kind of on schedule. I actually just finished it. So I'm 2 books in on my goal of 50.
Okay. Very
Pretty
nice.
solid.
Yeah.
So this book is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And I think that's how you say it.
Okay.
But anyway, he says in there, it's a quote from Henry Ford. Mm-hmm. He says, if I asked people what they wanted at the time, they would have told me a faster horse. Do you get it?
Yeah, because you don't know what you want because you don't know what your options are.
Exactly.
You got to tell people what they want.
Yeah, exactly. No one's going to be like, I want like a car. I know that
Yeah.
hasn't been invented, but I'm imagining this thing that would be better than a faster horse. So it just like, it was such a cool saying because it's so true. Like, you have to show people what they want. And I think for us in our industry, we're the experts. Mm-hmm. There's so many contractors, no matter what trade you're in, that have this mindset that they go to a client and they say, well, yeah, just tell me what you want, and and then I'll give you a price. Mm-hmm. It's like, you are the expert. They're not the expert.
Right.
You shouldn't even be letting them tell you what they want and how to do it. They can give their input, obviously, but it's your job as the professional to guide them through that process and show them what the options are and, go from there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that that's like such a key point of how you do things when you do these like consultation calls, because you are always like how do you envision using your space, not like what do you want me to put in your space, like how do you envision using it, and then you can kind of spitball off of that. And I think that that's a great way to come across that, because that is so true.
You think so?
I do, yeah. And people don't know what we live and breathe decks and patios. We know everything about it. We know what other people are doing. We know we're in it. We see it every day.
Yeah.
They see it every once in a while, and now that they've been looking for it.
Exactly.
They don't have this wealth of knowledge that we have, so we should be the ones telling them, like, okay, these are the options. This is what you can get for that amount of money or whatever. So
definitely. And I think I've heard some people, I don't want to, but I think people have started calling me the Henry Ford of decks and patios.
I've heard that.
Would
Yeah,
you
I
hear
have heard that.
I think I heard that. Anyway, I just thought that was super interesting because it's something that a lot of people always ask me about. Like, how do you get clients to, let you do these things? How do you, like, nobody comes to me. They say they just want this. And that's what everyone's going to say because they don't know. Like, they're basing what they want off of what they already know, their previous knowledge. So before there was a car, people rode horses to get around. So you ask anyone, they're going to say, what would be great? A horse that went faster. But what they really want is a car.
Yeah.
That runs on horsepower.
Yeah. I was thinking about this a lot recently because I feel like I keep seeing people who are like these amazing, talented builders ask for recommendations for designers.
Yeah.
And I was always like, why don't they just get better at that? Why don't they just learn how to do that so then they can do it themselves? But I really think it is like like having that mindset. Like, it's a completely different set of skills.
That's
you know what
true,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, that person can build them a faster horse. They just haven't thought of how to make a car yet. But that's like the designer's job to think of how to make the car,
Yeah.
So I was mulling that over because I was like, why can't people... I feel like that's a missed opportunity for builders to not also be designers. But some people just don't have that
creative
mindset, or
That's true.
or that drive. Maybe they just love the technical building part of it and they don't really care about design. But
that's a really good point.
Yeah,
great point.
Thank you.
And
thank you for that.
I think that is something important to talk about because not everyone is gonna be a great designer, and like you said, not everyone wants to be.
Yeah.
Some people don't like that part of it. They love building the spaces. They love perfecting their craft and all of that. But I think if you're not a company or an individual that can do both, can design and build, I think it's super important as you grow your company to either bring that in-house so that you can provide that service, because it really needs, with a lot of these trades, like whether it's a kitchen or a patio or a whatever it is, you need to start with the design.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you can't guide them through the process until they are hooked up with a designer. And if that person is not within your company, then you're basically just giving all of that control to somebody else and then hoping after they get this design that they're going to come back to you and say, okay, now we have the design. Can you bid this? And you know what that does?
What?
Do you know what that does?
What?
Catherine, do you know what this does?
What?
It turns you into a commodity.
Oh, yeah, it sure does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If somebody just has a design, they came up with it, they hired a designer, they went out on their own, found a designer, they drew up everything that they wanted. Now they have the design, they have the plans, they have everything that they want. They have it all right there. Mm-hmm. Then all they do is say, okay, well, I can call a bunch of people. I already have this plan.
Yeah.
So I'll show it to a couple builders. And then you really get into a price war.
Yeah.
Then it's a lot harder to, break away from just being a commodity at that point. Mm-hmm. When you're the designer and the builder, or the designer is part of your team, and your team is going to then build that project, there's something about that the client knows it's your design. They want you to follow through with it. But if they hire an outside designer and that designer doesn't build, then they're just going to come to you and say, okay, well, this isn't your design. I just need somebody basically for the labor of this.
Yeah.
And it's hard to really give a great value proposition and charge what you should charge.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's an excellent point. You do
Yeah,
just turn
you
into
think so?
I do, yes. I do think it's a great point.
I appreciate that.
And also, I think that maybe I'm getting too nitty gritty with this, but I feel like if you are the builder, let's say we're talking about a kitchen. There's a lot of technical stuff that goes into building a kitchen, whether it's water lines or gas lines or whatever. There's a lot of parameters that you have to follow, and a designer might. I mean, I would assume a good designer would kind of know how to design around the build.
Yeah,
but you don't know. You don't. That designer doesn't work with you. You don't know that person. You don't. It could just be somebody off of Pinterest being like, "Oh, these things are going to look cute together." So let's make this aesthetically look as good as I can. Not think about the back end stuff. And then you're stuck building this thing that isn't really possible anyway. So it's kind of creating a disconnect between the two things.
That
you know what I mean?
You know what? That's another great point.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Because if you are giving up that control, a lot of times when we're doing a design and then we're getting into the build aspect of it, there's a lot of little details that you kind of won't realize they can't come together until you get to that part. So if you just have a design from somebody else, they might have sold the client on this certain look and this certain thing. And then once you get to that part of the project, you weren't really involved in those talks. You're bidding it off of a design and a blueprint and a plan. But those little minute details, you're not in control of the conversation with the client. Mm-hmm. And you're basically giving a lot of that control to the designer and trusting that they know what's possible and what's not, where something structural needs to be, where how much space you need for an outlet here or the gas line here, all of that kind of stuff. You can really get yourself into a bit of a doozy.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I know nothing about I would say HVAC systems, and
I know they keep you cool.
I know that.
And
they keep you climate controlled.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I would say I have more of a designer brain in my house, and I was looking at redoing my house, and I kept being like, Pat, we need to move the chimney. And Pat was like, you cannot move this chimney. And I was like, why
not with that attitude.
That's exactly what I said to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we're going to move this chimney. And he's like,
it's probably not worth it, but you can move it. You can do anything you set your mind to.
That's exactly what I told him.
Yeah.
But it was...
Did he get real annoyed?
He did. Yeah. He did.
Awesome.
He did not like that. He
That's
really
funny.
wanted to put an end to the whole conversation.
Yeah.
But I can see where you would run into that problem, because if, as a designer, I would be like, it's got to go. This chimney cannot be here.
Where?
The center of our house. How ridiculous.
It is? Where is it?
The center of my house. It's in between my living room and dining room. And I more than anything want to knock that wall down.
Is it like inside of a wall?
Inside of a wall, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's hidden.
It's hidden.
I was going to say, I didn't see that.
Not well. It's in like a bump out. Like if you looked, you'd notice that there's a chimney back there. But but anyway, yeah, I immediately, first thing, I would say get rid of that. And then you have somebody who's like Pat who understands this kind of stuff better than I do. And he's like, yeah, you can't do this. Especially because the house is all old and blah, blah, blah.
You know what that sounds like?
Gave like an excuse?
Sounds like an excuse. And you know what an excuse is?
A lie wrapped in a skin of a reason?
Skin of a reason stuffed with a lie.
That's it, sorry.
So, because, I don't know if you know this, I grew up right down the street from your current house.
Yeah.
You know what my dad did?
Moved the chimney?
He took it right out. It wasn't in use anymore. Took it right out. It was right in our living room.
I've talked to Pat.
He was real jazzed up about it because his initial plan was, we're going to take out this wall. He knew the chimney was behind it. He thought there was going to be like some original, like cool hearth, fireplace. Wasn't.
Yeah.
We
definitely don't have
chimney.
that. It's just a chimney.
Yeah.
But it is currently venting our current HVAC system out. That's what
you
I
know,
said.
put that-
I said move it, pipe it out. And I was like, put it up the side of the house, and then it can just go off the top of the roof. And Pat said no. I'm going to bring this up again. I'm glad we had this talk.
You definitely should.
He's going to love this.
Don't involve me with this whatsoever. Yeah. How do we get on that?
Discrepancy between design and function.
Yeah. So anything's possible. I want everyone to remember that anything is possible.
Yeah.
And
don't let your husband tell you can't do things. Just do them.
I never let my husband tell me anything.
Yeah, don't listen to that guy.
No. What other kind of, because I think that's like a really interesting tangent that we went on about the control that you give up when design is not in-house. What are like some other things you think that are disadvantages from not having it in-house that could be huge advantages if you either did it yourself and got better at it or hired a designer? Or another option is just teaming up with a designer.
Yeah.
You know, you could
just
outsource
getting a trusted designer.
Trusted confidant.
Yeah.
Trusted confidant to team up with, work on designs with you. And for a lot of people, I know there are services out there that do that, especially in outdoor living. Like there's people that are remote designers and they work specifically with contractors. And that's something that, you're going to have to pay a fee per design. But, you know, when you balance that out with hiring a full-time designer or doing it yourself, if you're even capable of doing it, it could be a really good option for some people. So
yeah, definitely.
So what are some other ways that you think that's going to help you?
I think that, like, especially if you don't see yourself as someone who's interested in design or whatever, I think if you team up with somebody who is, then you can brand yourself as like, I am the master builder. I focus on my one craft. I outsource it to this. We, collaborate. We work together. We do these things together. That person designs. I tell them whether it's possible or not. And I think that that's like a wonderful branding opportunity. If you're like, I focus on what I focus on. I'm a master builder and I care about my craft in that way. Yeah. I think that's a great like branding opportunity.
That's true.
But I don't know if that would have the same impact if you were like just hiring, like letting the homeowner hire out the design. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think if you keep it like, because that's almost in-house. If you have your own trusted advisor, designer, then that's like basically having them.
Definitely.
In-house.
You're part of the conversation as it's going through the client to the designer. You're like part of that little circle of trust.
Yeah, circle of trust.
Circle of trust. And then when you have introduced them to the designer and really you can present it any way you want. You could pretend that they are a full-time designer for you. Like you just say, our designer is working on it. They don't have to know if it's a remote designer that you only use once a year or if it's somebody that works full-time for you, but you've introduced them to that design process. And now like they have a vested interest in sticking with you throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
To kind of see that vision to life. I think that we encounter that a lot. Like we'll come up with the design, we charge for the design, and then the client has it and they can do what they want with it.
Yeah.
And occasionally, probably some people are like, you know what, it's too expensive. There's too many bells and whistles. I want something simple that sort of kind of, sort of looks like this.
Yeah, yeah.
They might go and hire somebody else and it's not going to come out the way that it would turn out if we did it.
Right.
You know, I know that to be true.
Yeah.
For a fact.
For a fact, yeah.
So
why don't we talk about, for a minute, I'm sure we've like touched on this before, but we don't do remote designs. We'll do designs for people with the intention that we would then build it, but if they don't want us to build it, then they get to keep the design, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But do you think that part of the reason why you don't want to do remote designs is because you would lose some of the, like, your design's always going to be your design, but then someone in Colorado is going to have a premier outdoor living deck built to not your standards, to whoever, to some Chuck in a Truck's standards.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
That, I think that I don't really care about.
No?
Like, obviously, if I were to do a design, I hope that they would go out and find somebody reputable that builds it well and all that kind of stuff. But as long as I was upfront with them initially, like, hey, we're just going to do the design, it's completely on you to find a qualified contractor. As long as I'm not like leading them on and saying, yeah, we have people in your market that can do this project for you completely up to our standards. And then we just like put it out on social media and find a contractor and we're like, yeah, here's a great lead for you and give us 10% or whatever. A lot of people I feel like would go that route. And if we were to do that, that would feel like really kind of icky to me.
For sure.
But if we were to do it and just say, here's the design, we are just the designer. If you are comfortable with that, we'll do it for you. But you're completely on your own to find your own contractor. I would feel okay about that. But here's the reason that I don't want to get into doing remote designs.
They're
Do you know
really time consuming.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Super, super time consuming.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because I think there's two different ways that I look at how we're building our business. There's an element where it's like a one-to-one thing. Like, we build a project, we get paid for a project. That's like your traditional way of building a business. And I think if we were to do remote designs and I was still doing them, I only have so much time. So it's like, yeah, can we charge a pretty decent amount and make like, pretty good money doing remote designs? Sure. I'm sure we could. But that's not like scalable. We already have a portion of our business where it requires a lot of my time.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it worth it for me to like step back from what we're doing on site and being a part of that process to just, spend my time doing something else? Designs. I think any ancillary business opportunities that I like to look at, I like to look at the scalability of it. Like we're kind of pigeonholed into our time equals our money on the jobs that we build, but other things like our content, uploading something to YouTube, it's like that takes time, but might get 10 million views. You might make a lot of money off of it. So like that's an opportunity where it's scalable without necessarily scaling your time invested into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That does?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So if we could figure out a way to just like get the leads, train some sort of AI to do the design, and then it's just like hands-free, I would like that.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That's probably definitely in the pipeline.
It's probably already like possible, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how about that?
What, all the crazy AI
All the
stuff?
crazy AI, the Chat GPT or whatever?
What's that?
Chat GPT?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
I don't think so.
Oh, that was when you weren't at work.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah, our clients have been talking about it and everything. Oh, I didn't even... They sent me an entire blog article written by an AI thing.
Oh, I showed you that before.
Well, yeah, something like that. But they actually... They were like real interested in it. So they did an entire blog article about outdoor living and just like put in like 3 parameters and then you could do like revisions. It's crazy how advanced this is with like almost zero input. And that's just like an open source AI thing that's on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Imagine like what isn't available.
Yeah.
That like they're working on in secret.
Yeah.
Do you think that the government's working on some sort of high-level AI outdoor design software?
Probably.
Probably, I would think so.
Top on their list.
I would think so.
I did also see something on the news recently that it was like this crazy-looking robot that basically just moves like a human. but like way cooler, and
like
can jump over stuff, and it's
completely
shaped like a human. It can jump, it can run, it can throw.
Is that really like the Boston Dynamics thing?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Boston something.
Dynamics,
yeah. That really threw me for like a mental loop because it was moving like a terrifying human.
Have you seen, they've had some stuff online for like a really long time. Google bought them, Boston Dynamics.
Oh, okay.
And they make like these crazy like they have these robot dogs. And these videos came out in like, no, it's not.
Oh, no?
No, it's not. It's not like an all.
Okay.
They have these like robot attack dog kind of things.
Dogs?
I don't know. Maybe. But, this is going back like at least 10 years. The videos were out where like it's a robotic dog and it's somebody like trying to kick it over and like you can't kick it over because
I've seen that.
It like braces itself and everything.
And
it just like keeps coming. No, it's real.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I remember, you know what? I showed that to like you and Aunt and you guys were like, that's not real. I'm like, this is totally real. So now do you believe it?
Yeah. Now that I've seen
crazy.
That first one, yeah.
So, yeah, pretty scary, I guess, a little bit.
The future's terrifying, I guess.
Yeah, but at least maybe, we can get it to write blog articles for us before the robot apocalypse comes.
Hopefully, for a little bit. Might be cool for a
little bit of a plus.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's enough about robot apocalypse AI?
Yeah, I wasn't planning on talking about that today. So
neither was I. That's the funny thing.
Delightful tangent. But,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. What were we talking about before that?
I think we were talking about design. We were talking about branding. We were talking about all those kind of things.
Horses, right?
And horses, faster horses. You have to show the client what they want because they don't know.
Yep.
They think they know.
They think they know, but they don't.
But they don't. You have to lead that horse to water.
Yeah.
But you can't make them drink.
Mm-hmm. But in this case, make them.
Make them drink. So you're thirsty. I know it. Just drink this water. Okay, enough with the horse metaphors as well. We're done with the AI. Okay. We're done with the horse metaphors.
Okay, sorry.
What else?
What's next?
What else? I had pretty extensive notes for this podcast.
Yeah.
It said faster horse. That was it. No, I did have a lot of ideas and things to talk about.
Yeah.
So should we let the people know that next week we're going to be doing a keynote speech at a contractor event?
Yeah.
I don't know how we got entrusted to do a speech at some thing. Apparently there's going to be like 400 people there.
That's very exciting.
It is.
Are you nervous?
No, I don't think so. Not really.
No?
What do I have to be nervous about? There's no plan yet. So
the world is our oyster. It could go amazingly.
It could go a million different ways because we haven't even put much of a thought at all into planning it out yet. But we have a couple days. We have like 3 days.
Yeah, we got a whole plane ride to get there, so
yeah, we're going to be fine. But I think we should touch on a couple of the things that we're going to be kind of focusing on in that.
Okay.
Which is kind of building your brand, some social media stuff, not too much social media stuff, more just like metaphorical, theoretical, ideological branding stuff.
Okay. Big picture.
Like big picture stuff, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's really about like separating yourself from everybody else. Like it's not about just creating a viral video. It's not about like getting 1 million views. That's like not the most powerful thing about social media and creating content and developing your brand online. It's really like an evolution of everything else that a business does. Everything else that was advertising before, it's now just in a new medium. And I think people kind of miss that. Like they think of social media as this like, kind of like new age, just fancy willy-nilly. What's that word that you say about the, when like witchy stuff? Like you're like, it's like, ooh, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's something. I
got nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like hippy dippy.
Hippy dippy, okay.
Yeah, something like that.
I say that often, but okay.
No, I think you've said it once, maybe on the podcast. But anyway.
Oh, woo woo.
Woo woo. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Woo woo. Yeah,
okay,
exactly. Okay. Right. But it's really just like these things that have been in building a business and building a brand and advertising yourself for way, way before the internet. And it's just like a new way of implementing that. So I'm pretty excited because I feel like that is like one thing that we do have a different perspective on when it comes to our business. So I think it's the perfect thing for us to talk about, because if it was anything else, we'd be like, we got nothing for you. Sorry. Listen to our podcast and you'll hear about all the stuff that we're trying to figure out. But I'm excited to kind of put together all of our thoughts on this into like one concise little presentation.
Yeah.
About building your brand, about really like, it's a lot of things that we've talked about already, like gaining the trust of a customer before you ever meet them. And what is the value of that peace of mind that they think, because they've seen you do all this thing, they've seen your face, they've seen your business, they've seen all the work that you do, they really believe that you're going to do a good job. Like, how much is that peace of mind worth to a potential client? I think it's a lot.
Absolutely.
I think it's a lot, and people look at it as just like an X's and O's measurable return on investment kind of thing when they look at putting time into this. But there's so many things like that are hard to measure.
Yeah. That
for us, it's not even that. It's just, it's so ingrained in our business and every type of lead that we get that it's like, I cannot imagine running a business without this type of, thing that we do. Like, imagine just going to a client completely cold and having to do your entire sales pitch and differentiate yourself from the person that was just there yesterday.
Yeah.
And the person that's coming tomorrow.
Oh, every single time. That would be exhausting.
It would be so exhausting. And you'd just be like running on a rat wheel.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to do things like, we don't come to your house. We just do a phone call.
Yeah.
You're not going to see my face until
until the day we start.
Until basically the day that we start. And I mean, we've been able to do that with our clients, and they trust us so much because we're out there, we're visible. They see everything that we do.
Yeah.
They trust us. They have that peace of mind that I hired Premier Outdoor Living. I know that they're going to do a good job, and they're going to go the extra mile, and they're going to care about what it looks like. They're not just doing this for the paycheck at the end of the day. Like, there's an element that you can sense within all of our marketing and our branding and our content that it's more than just a business to us.
Yeah.
We love doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think people see what we do and they're like, oh, I'm not going to put, that must take a lot of time. I'm not going to put that much time into it. But I think that what we do is scalable, like on a smaller, more local sense, like 100%. Like, it's not, you don't have to like go all in on social media where you're trying to like dedicate most of your time to putting yourself out there. I think that you can do it on a smaller scale too.
Yeah.
Like a more attainable, that sounds like
we're like,
it sounds so like we're huge jerks. I mean, like we obviously put a lot of time and effort into it. You don't have to put that much time and effort into it to see a return on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
We've kind of...
I'm trying to not sound like a jerk. That sounded very jerky.
Yeah, you're really full of yourself,
Catherine. I got like a really big head over here. I didn't realize.
Yeah. It's like that hat's going to explode off your head. Because you got such a big head.
I got such a big head. Yeah, I do.
Yep. No, I totally get what you're saying. Like, that's how it started for me, was just local. Like, it was just, we were just creating the content and like establishing our website and all of that kind of stuff in our portfolio for the traditional way of building a business, which is getting local clients, selling them a job, they pay us, boom, on to the next one. That was how we did it initially. And then just because of how much we like creating the content, like, it's just a fun thing. I've said it many times. It's kind of like a hobby that I was like, why don't I just make this part of my job as well? So we took it that extra step where, now we're doing things like this podcast. We're not getting clients from this podcast.
Right.
We might get like one just, by happenstance that like likes to listen to construction podcasts and also wants a deck built in our local area. But this is something that like, you don't have to implement into a content strategy or an online strategy. If you're just targeting your local market, you'll realize that there's not a lot of people that are putting almost any effort into it.
Right.
So to get a leg up on them, on your local competition, and build a reputation and build trust within potential clients, it's not that much work, especially when you make it part of your business.
Right.
Like if you just make it an essential part, like doing your books, reconciling, reconciling, doing your accounting, all of that kind of stuff. Like it's just part of your business. Like you have to do it.
Yes.
And I think people just, they look at it as something that's like on top of it. That's like, I'll do it when I'm not busy. You know, I'll do it when we run out of work. And it doesn't work like that. Like it needs to be an ongoing thing. Like that's what builds the story. That's what makes clients trust you. It's that they can see everything that you're doing. They're like with you along that whole journey.
Yeah. Show your friggin' faces.
Show your face. God. I feel like I really went like on some sort of, that felt borderline spiritual.
Yeah. I thought you were going to tie it back into the book that you're reading about what's your why.
Could.
Is that what you were going to do?
No.
I feel like at one point you were trying to get back to that book about something about your why. Something about this is your why.
You know what? Yeah, that's probably what spurred the whole thing. No, I wasn't consciously going to go back to the book, but that probably is where that tangent came from.
Yeah.
Start with why.
Yeah.
Because, you know what? Actually, that's exactly where it came from. You have to show people your why, and I think that it's really obvious when you watch our videos and see our Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Our why is first and foremost because we love doing it.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Do you think that comes across in our content?
I think so, for sure.
Okay. Catherine, put yourself in the shoes of a potential client.
Yes. I'm there. I'm wearing...
Premier Outdoor. Well, we don't show up yet. You call us.
Oh, okay.
We talk on the phone, but you're following us.
Oh, somehow I got on your phone on a phone call?
Well, yeah, the screener didn't work, and somehow no, you set up a consultation through our process, and we're having a chat, and you followed us, and all that kind of stuff, and that's one option. Now you got another option where it's like this guy comes over, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be probably like $50,000. That's a lot of work." Oh yeah.
Do I get a pencil sketch?
Sure. Yeah, you got a napkin? Something like that.
Uh-huh.
Which one are you going to pick?
I think I'm going to go with Premier Outdoor.
Really? Wow. All right, that was a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's the point is still hopefully made. Probably not. That wasn't a really great example.
I got the gist of what you were saying.
I apologize, everybody. That was a terrible example.
I think the people got it.
They got it?
I think so.
I think so. They're so smart. Everybody's listening right now. So smart.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree with that. And I think that the point that you're making is like, let your why be your guiding light. Everything you're doing is for that why. And the point that you're trying to make is going to come across naturally.
Yes.
Like, we don't sit down before every vlog and go like, okay, how are we going to like appear that we care about this? You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a conversation. We just come across naturally.
Yeah.
And I think that shows in our content.
Definitely.
Everything that people see, they look at those people and they say,
they're having a good old time.
They have a good time building those decks and patios, I think.
I bet it would be fun to have them at our house building our project. And it always seems like they're adding in these extra little things, going the extra mile for these tiny little details that I would have never noticed. But, you know, when it all comes together, wow, I notice them.
They're having so much fun and they're building such a nice product.
Yeah, and it's because they love it.
Yeah. They care just as much as everybody else in the house that they're building it on does about that house.
More, usually.
Probably.
Yeah. So that's our why.
Yes.
So you start with the why.
Start with the why.
Then it's the what and the how.
Okay.
But you start with the why, and that's I think that we have I don't want to toot my own horn. Our own horn. Our collective horns. I don't mean to toot. But I think we've done a really good job of, and I think it's because it is so natural. It's not something that we're trying to fake, that like we really do love what we're doing.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. We're having fun. It's not like, oh, let's try to manufacture some fun moment. It's like, no, we're just having fun at work.
Yeah.
And that comes across in all of our content. It comes across in really everything that we do. So then everything else from there is secondary. You know, people get latched on from that why. They see what we do. They love the project. They love following along because they can just feel that sense of they're enjoying it. They're having fun. Like, I trust that. Right. I don't want to hire somebody that's like, everyone's miserable every day, you know, and it's just like some curmudgeons that are here, you know, hulking around pavers and they're miserable about it. Like, they want to feel like we hired somebody that isn't trying to like rush out of here because they're having a good time. They're enjoying it. Yeah. They're always trying to get better. They're always trying to push their designs. They're always trying to like try a new thing to one up themselves. So,
yeah. And I don't think, I mean, everything that we do is documented, and that is not realistic for everybody. But I think that same point can be made through like putting your face on your stories and like showing what you're doing. Like, you don't need someone filming you all of the time to get that point across. You can just put yourself on your stories, show how excited you are about a project, make a reel about how excited you are on a project. Like, there's other ways to do it. You don't have to have like, you know, we talk about it like, oh, we're, you know, you see us all the time and we're on YouTube and we're all over the place. If you want to see what we look like, we're all over there. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can be more attainable on like hey, this is what I'm doing today, guys. I just wanted to show you. This is the project. This is what it's going to look like. And I'm so excited to get it finished. Like, that also gets that same point across. If you're just showing yourself excited about the project.
Definitely.
But no, it doesn't get it across.
Not doing that.
Doing nothing. Or just like a static photo of a project.
Yeah, there's no like heart and soul in that. There's no, because I think the most important thing to running a business like this is breaking out of being looked at as a commodity. Yeah. Premier Outdoor Living, when you hire us, it's an experience.
It's an experience.
I think so.
You're going to get a good time and a good project. Great.
Absolutely.
A great time and a great project.
A fabulous time and an exquisite project. Okay, somebody I think that is, as an example, that's doing a really good job of this is, what's his name? Brian, Constructive Design Group.
Yeah, definitely.
Or whatever.
They do a great job.
Right? That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Sorry if you're listening, but I was pretty sure that was it. And, they're, I feel like, in a beginning stages of it. You know what I mean? They haven't been doing the content stuff for that long, but when you see their projects and you see the type of content that they're now doing, it's not super elaborate. It's not like an insanely huge production, but they do really cool work. They have really cool ideas. They're posting great photos and videos of finished projects. Plus, they're like putting in little things about, like, they're now, I think, doing a podcast, or maybe it's just like a, you know, here and there YouTube kind of conversation thing, but they're talking about their design process. They're talking about how it works and why things work that way with the design process and the build process. And, you know, it just, I feel like I've never met him in person or as designer, but I feel like I have.
You didn't meet him?
No.
Oh.
Did you?
I met him at Deck Expo, yeah.
What?
He didn't find you?
No.
Oh, he said he was going to introduce himself, but maybe he didn't find you.
Brian. What? No, I didn't even know he was. No, I did know he was there. And then I remember you were like, yeah, we just saw him. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was just with you guys like 2 seconds ago. Anyway, was he cool in person as well?
Yeah, he was great.
Oh, sweet. So anyway, but I feel like they're doing a really good job of, you know, they don't have a person filming them all the time. Like, they're just creating really good content that tells their story, that, you know, they're showing their face, they're showing what the process is like, what the project's all about, the before and the after and all that kind of stuff. And they're doing it in a really good way that I feel like if we talk to them, they're probably going to be like, yeah, this content, even though, you know, they're at a more beginning stage of, like, you know, getting followers and all that kind of stuff, I'm sure people in their market are like, yeah, they see that, they hear about them somewhere else, then they go on their Instagram or now their YouTube channel or whatever, and they look at it and they're like, oh wow, like, there's a lot to look at here. I can look at previous projects. I can see just kind of more off the cuff natural stuff, like the conversation stuff that they're doing with the design process and all that. So I think it doesn't have to be where you're getting all those leads, but then once people find out about you, they look you up then they can like go down a little rabbit hole and like really get to know what you're all about.
Yeah.
And know your why.
They can know your why, yeah.
They can know your why. But you know what has to happen before that?
You have to know your why.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, good job.
I thought so, yeah.
Good job on that. Great. What do you think?
I think that's
generally
good.
think that's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good.
Pretty good. So, yeah, check them out. I think that's something that just came to mind, that I think they're doing a great job on their content, and I bet that they would talk about, what's that?
I was looking up their handle. It is Constructive Design Group.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And they got 4,600 followers, which I feel like they're growing pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're putting out great content that...
Really top tier stuff, so...
Top tier stuff, top tier projects, and it can be something that, you know, you can kind of look at, and I think it would be something more scalable for everybody. Yeah. At least at the rate that they're doing. That it looks like they might ramp it up.
They've got some pretty pro-looking stuff, so...
They do.
Yeah.
They do. But
I think they've got a strategy behind it.
I think they definitely do.
Yeah.
But something to think about.
Something to think about.
What else you got? What else you got for me in the... check the junk drawer. What do we got in the junk drawer?
We have a junk drawer?
Yeah. Check it out. That's like where, you know, just like loose ideas that we can talk about. Do you got anything in the junk drawer? What do you got?
I mean, we didn't address why we're not drinking today.
Oh, we didn't?
No. We're 45 minutes into this podcast and didn't talk about our
Happy
happy hourless happy hour.
All right, here's the thing. It's actually Thursday. We usually record it on Friday.
Yeah.
It was raining all day. It was kind of a miserable day weather-wise.
It was, yeah.
And we have so many goals.
Yeah.
With so many goals. Some of us may or may not be a little bit behind schedule on some of those said goals.
Yeah.
I'm talking about me, holding myself accountable. So I got to run tonight.
Yeah.
I got to run tonight. And so I was like, you know what? Let's skip on the drinking. We do enough of that already. And so we're not drinking this week. We'll be back to it next week.
Next week we'll do it.
Next week we'll get hammered.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should make up for it.
Yeah, and we did just, you know, shout out to Haney.
Yeah.
Haney messaged us and said episode 50 was great, and that us drinking that much was like Wonder Woman's lasso of truth.
Yes, that's what he said.
I was not familiar with that, but that sounds like a cool superpower.
That is, yeah.
Because like lassos are cool, and then like you lasso someone, they have to tell you the truth. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Because it's not like a superpower like you just look at somebody and they have to tell you the truth. You gotta have some skill to it.
There's some intention behind it.
There's intention behind it, and like you gotta have some good lasso skills.
Yeah, and you probably wouldn't want to hear everyone's truth all of the time.
Yeah,
like you just look at somebody and they're like, "You're a little funny looking," and you're like, "Oh, son of a bitch! I didn't need that today." It's rude.
Bet I would never hear that. They'd be like, "Oh my god, he looks kind of like Tom Brady, maybe." Anyway, all right. So that was all that was in the junk drawer.
That's all I had. Did you have anything else? Check your junk drawer.
We're gonna have to stock up the junk drawer for later, but that could be a cool segment.
Okay, I like
junk
it.
drawer.
Yeah, we could add that.
Okay. All right. Well, what do we got now? Secret question.
Secret question time.
All right, let's get into it.
Wait, before we.
Oh yeah.
One more thing out of the junk drawer.
Yeah.
We never made jingles.
Oh,
remember how we were going to do that? We didn't do that yet. We should do that.
You know what we should also do?
What?
Let's update people on. You know what? Actually, it's time for the Hardworking Happy Hour round of applause. And this round of applause is going out to Catherine. She had a really rough week. Still did Pilates every day.
Thank you.
Absolutely extraordinary dedication.
Thank you.
Had every excuse to not do Pilates, but you know what? You set out that goal for who? For everybody else, to impress other people?
No, for myself.
For yourself.
For
and
me,
that's why you stuck with it. So extremely proud of you for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And last episode, remember how many miles I had done?
Exactly 0.
Exactly 0. Now I'm at exactly 17.
Very good.
And it's the 19th and I have to get to 50. So I still have 33 miles.
Do you have a plan of attack for this, or are you just gonna
I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna run.
No,
January 31st, 33 miles.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do that.
That'd be cool.
No, it wouldn't. I would be so
You'd be exhausted.
tired. Yeah. So, I'm going to hit the miles.
Okay.
Right now, it's only like 2.5 miles a day.
What are you going to run tonight?
10. Nah, probably. I'll shoot for 5, maybe.
Okay.
I'll try it. I don't want to overdo it. It's just I need to, next week I'm going to update everybody and everyone's going to be proud of me. Everyone's going to be really proud of me.
I look forward to seeing your Instagram stories of how many miles you ran.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, secret question time. What do you got?
Okay, secret question. Okay, so would you rather have every thought that comes into your head, everyone hears, you say every single thought that comes into your head?
Yeah.
Or never communicate again. Not be able to talk anymore.
Not being able to talk anymore sounds like torture for me. Everyone being able to hear every thought sounds like torture for everyone else. So I'll pick that one.
What?
Everyone can hear every single thought. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Without a question, that's what you would do?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny. You should try that one day. Just say everything.
I do most of the time.
You don't say everything that comes into your head.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's not even like verbal a lot of times. It's more just like, I'm going to try it.
Actually, that leads me to another question.
Okay.
Which I feel like this was like going around the internet for a while. But like when your thoughts.
Yes.
Are you like hearing your own voice say your thoughts? Or
No.
is it just like vague feelings and mush up there?
The second one.
Is
it?
it?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
God. I don't know. I do know. Okay. I can kind of, is that yeah, I can hear my voice.
You hear your voice when you
I think that's just some talking. I can hear it in the headphones. That's just my actual voice. No, okay, what's yours? Do you hear your voice?
I don't know if it's necessarily like my voice, but
You hear like words?
It's like words. Yeah, it is words.
What?
My thoughts are words, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine are just like
Vague feelings?
It's like, I feel like it's, if I had to describe it, it would be large planetary bodies in motion of different shapes and sizes, and they kind of all represent different ideas, and then sometimes they align themselves in a way that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Not at all.
No, it makes sense to me in my
That's
head.
good.
Yeah. It's like, I don't
that
know, it's just
matters.
like vague, I don't know. It's just,
They're just in there. Like your thoughts are just in there.
they're in there, they're definitely not
what's
words.
What's it like when my mind is racing, it's like it's just chaos. It's like I feel like it's just like a bunch of different sentences that are like starting and then not ending. Like that's what my like racing mind feels like. What does your racing mind feel like?
That's a good question. I feel like there's usually like a song playing. There's usually like a
Like
sound.
elevator music.
It's just, yeah, like I don't know. I'm gonna be so much more mindful of that now.
Okay,
Oh
yeah,
my
think
God,
about
I feel
it.
like it's gonna drive me into complete madness. That's so weird. But no, it's definitely. I mean, maybe it's sometimes words. I don't know, but I feel like for the most part, it's very abstract. It's very abstract.
Okay.
And then I have to like, when I come up with an idea, it's like more of like a feeling and an abstract thing, and sometimes it's like a shape or a color in my mind, and then I have to like consciously put effort into like pulling out the words to explain it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
I
I mean,
don't know.
no, because I don't live in your brain, but like, yes, in a sense.
Okay. All right. So, what would you rather have all your thoughts just be? I feel like not. Yeah, just out there, and they're just. It's like a megaphone is attached to your brain, and it's just like, or there's like some sort of online log of like, these are Catherine's running thoughts.
No,
and,
you just say every single thing that comes into your brain.
Oh, you actually say it out loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would
And the second
that's
option
not
is
so-
never be able to communicate.
not be able to talk anymore. Can't talk anymore.
Can't talk. Can you write things?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Then I'm going. If I can write things, then I'm going that.
Okay.
Because there's chaos in this brain. I don't want all this craziness out there.
I feel like enough of
Kinda
mine's
mean.
already out there that it's mean.
Sometimes I'm mean.
Really?
No, I'm like a very nice person, but like sometimes my first thought is like something mean, and then like my second thought is like, man, don't be so mean. Don't you think?
That's not how my brain works. You're a rotten person. No, I'm just kidding.
I am kind of rotten.
I'm going to be more conscious of what is going on in my brain, that internal dialogue. I don't know where I came up with. I've never thought about the whole. Remember I said like planetary bodies that are moving in orbit of different shapes and sizes?
Yeah.
That was weird.
That was weird.
But that was kind of the first. I've never tried to explain it before, but that was the first thing that came to mind.
All right. This is your homework assignment. You have to go home and meditate, and instead of not focusing on your thoughts, focus on your thoughts. Focus on what happens up there. Write it down and then report back.
Okay. All right, cool.
Because I'm very curious now.
Yeah, wow.
That's one of those things where you don't really think about it, and like I would assume that everyone thought the way that I thought.
Yeah.
That we all had this same experience. But then I saw it on the internet that people were talking about it, and I was like, that's insane to me that people don't have like
insane.
Words in their brain. But
yeah,
everybody's different.
Wow, so deep.
Yeah. Okay. What's your secret question?
I kind of forget. What was it? No, it was such a good one. It was philosophical.
Okay.
Okay. I remember. All right. So, do you agree that everything that you feel, like happiness and achievement and satisfaction and all of these things, are really just like chemical reactions in your brain, like your brain releasing dopamine or serotonin? Is that what that is?
As opposed to what?
As opposed to, I don't know, something more diverse. Like, do you believe that it is just like chemical your body's reactions. Response to your brain emitting these chemicals?
Yes.
Okay, so
solely chemical reactions, yes.
Okay, so I also think so. Would you be open to just being able to like program your brain to like, you want to feel a sense of achievement? Boop, 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 boop.
Press a button.
Press a button. Feel it. You're sad? I don't want to be sad anymore. Happy. Like, at what point does, and say it's not like...
this is just doing drugs, right? This feels like
but this is like futuristic drugs that don't like, because
ruin your
drugs
life.
That we have right now, like, yeah, it does all that stuff, but then it's like
kind of ruined your
crash.
life.
But this is just like some sort of magical stuff.
And there's no
like,
crashes?
There's no crashes. It's just like, I can be happy all the time. And I want 2 hours of great satisfaction and achievement every day. I'm going to do that. Like, would you sign up for that or no?
That's a great question. I feel like you need to feel you need to feel the lows to appreciate the highs. So in that sense, I would be like, no, I wouldn't want that, because I would still want, part of being human is feeling emotions.
Yeah.
And, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I want to feel the emotions.
Do you think that happiness isn't necessarily just a chemical reaction? It's a chemical reaction in relation to an opposite reaction. Like, happiness is happiness because of sadness. So if you don't have the sadness, then you can't understand the happiness.
I think that
we're going real deep on this.
Yeah, this is getting real deep.
Yeah.
I don't think that you. So my theory on life is that everyone fills their lives with happiness and sadness accordingly. Like, some people just have sadder lives than other people.
Womp womp.
Some people have more stressful lives than other people. But if you ask somebody, like someone's the worst day of someone's life could be like, oh my gosh, I got in a car accident and it was awful, it was so stressful. And then someone else could be like, I haven't eaten in a week and a half because my country is going through a famine. And they are both feeling the same amount of stress, because it's all about perspective.
Wow, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like you fill your life with happiness, with sadness, with stress. And no matter whatever's happening to you is the extreme of that emotion, because that's what your frame of reference is.
Yeah,
you know
it's relative to your experience. It's not relative to, like, it's not a, I don't know, I can't think of the word, but it's not like it's relative.
It's
relative to your own experience.
Yeah. Like if you're like, like if my dog were to die, I would be devastated. And the last thing I would think about is that like, oh, someone else across the country, they just lost their whole family in a car crash. So like, this isn't that bad, you know? That's not how people experience life. You deal with the things that are in your life in a way that balances each other out.
Yeah. It's kind of like the people that are like rich and famous. A lot of times it's like, oh my God, like how could they be like stressed or whatever? But it's like, it's all relative to your other experiences.
Yeah. So I wouldn't want to have those buttons because I feel like, I feel like your brain wouldn't handle it because you would just level out at that happy level. You'd just numb yourself to that happy level.
Yeah.
You wouldn't still continue to feel happiness.
And then the button stops working, and you're like, no! Button! Yeah, that would be,
Yeah, so I feel like, I don't know, I feel like being human is feeling emotions, and...
Yeah, well...
Like I had a sad week last week, and then everything was fine, and I was never happier than, like just being able to go back to work and, like, not be sad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just going back to work made me so happy after being off for a couple days for sadness, and then everything was fine, and...
It's a great place of employment that you have, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. Well, it's just normal life, you know? So I'm always happy to go back to work, but, like, when after something like that, it's, like, such a nice... It, like, reframes those things in life.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, those sadness times kind of do reframe those things. Like, not that I ever take my job for granted, but after a while, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm like, I love my job. Yeah, that's fine. But, like, after something like that happens, like, I didn't have to worry about taking off work. I just texted you and I said, I'm not going to be there. And you said, no problem. Mm-hmm. And then I came back to work and I was like, I'm so appreciative of this. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like in life you need the highs and lows, and I wouldn't press a button for happiness. What about you?
I don't think so because, I don't know. You know, I'm not sure. I think that a lot of the good stuff comes from the bad stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, like art and poetry and music.
Yeah, true.
Comes from the pain. Mm-hmm. So I'd say no. And also, I didn't even think of this when I asked the question, but who's manufacturing this button? It's probably some futuristic conglomerate corporation like Nabisco. Nabisco at this point owns the entire world.
Yeah.
And they made the button. Somebody made the button.
Somebody made the button.
And you always think that you want that button until you have the button and the button stops working. Click. You ever seen that movie, Adam Sandler?
No.
He wants to... You ever seen that?
No.
He goes to Bed Bath & Beyond, goes into the Beyond part, and he meets this guy that's got this remote that he can time travel.
That's not a real premise of a movie, is it?
It is, yeah, it is. It is. It's probably, sponsored by Bed Bath & Beyond, but it's actually, I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but made me tear up, maybe.
What? That movie does not sound like a tearjerker.
No, you need to see it. It's again, I don't want to go out and say that it's a great movie, but it's, he fast forwards through most of his life.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because he's like, oh, I have all this work to do. Fast forward, and I think the button gets stuck or something. I don't know. You'll have to check it out. And you know what, Catherine? You know what?
What?
I think we're back.
What?
We're
back to our why?
No. We're back to just like basically nonsense rambling.
Oh, I
thought taking a week off we might have lost that for good, but it's back. It's back. Don't know how we got on to Click, that movie. Adam Sandler. Wow, that's going back into the archives.
We started with horses and we made it all the way back to Click. So it's an art what we do here.
It is. There are highs and there are lows, and I guess that's the best way to wrap this up in a nice little bow. So
yeah.
Can't wait for next week. We'll talk to you about. We got a lot of homework to do. We got to update you on.
We got some homework.
And let us know how do you think? Is it in words? Is it in vague thoughts? Is it in planetary bodies of shapes and colors, as mine is? Would love to.
I do kind of want more people's opinion on that. So yeah, please actually let us know.
Do that. And make sure that you subscribe to this wherever you're doing that.
Yeah.
People say that on other podcasts.
Leave us a review.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So till next time, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.